All right, so we're going to start off today taking a seat. I've got a bolster with me. If you'd prefer to just have a regular from bed, or you can do one of Susie's bolsters where she wraps the pillow up in a blanket just for a little bit more stability. That would be great. So getting something comfortable, and we're going to start off in a sort of Virasana pose, so hero's pose. I'm straddling my bolster. You can do the same with your pillow. And then draw knees in toward the cushion. My shins are down on the mat, and as much as possible, turn the soles of the feet to point up toward the ceiling. And when you're comfortable, just check in, make sure that you're grounding evenly through both sit bones. So we're not sort of leaning out to one side or the other. Finding center. And turning your palms to face up on your thighs. Draw the shoulders back toward whatever is behind you, and then down toward the kidneys. So the spine is lengthened. The neck is an extension of the spine. So draw the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. Draw chin in toward collarbones slightly. And feel the length of the torso. And when you're comfortable, close down your eyes. Taking a few breaths in and out through the nose, just checking in with how the breath is feeling. Giving yourselves a few moments to arrive on your mat. Setting the intention to participate fully in your practice today, rather than letting it be something that happens to you. Really being present within each movement, within each moment, within each breath. On your next inhale in through the nose, see if you can draw the breath any deeper, right down into the pit of the belly. Allow the belly to expand. Then as you exhale, start the breath from that space and let it draw up and out. Inhale, draw the breath deep down into the belly. Feel the belly expand, and then when it is full, start to breathe into the sides of the ribs. As you exhale, breathe out from the sides of the ribs first. And belly second. Inhale, right down deep into the pit of your belly. Feel it expand. Once it is full, breathe into the sides of the ribs. Once they are full, breathe right up to the top of your collarbones. And when you think you're full, take one little more sip of air in. And then as you exhale, let the breath go from the top of the chest first, the sides of the ribs second, and the belly third. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Keep this going, focusing on the three parts of your breath, noticing the distinction between them. Maybe as you breathe into the different parts of your body, you notice different sensations arise. And we'll just take 3 more big 3-part breaths here. Once you've finished your third breath, keeping the eyes closed, draw the hands toward each other at the heart center. Coming to your Anjali Mudra. And if you have a personal intention that you wish to set for this practice, for this stretch class today, go for it. Let that intention sit in your body so it can guide your movement. Once the intention has settled, we're going to interlace the fingers. And draw chin down toward chest, rotate the palms forward, and start to press the palms toward the front of the room. Feeling the shoulder blades draw away from each other on your upper back. Keep the arms as straight as you can. On the next inhale, start to press your palms up toward the ceiling. Lift the head through center, then exhale, keep the palms up again, draw chin down to chest. Inhale, lift your head to center, keep the palms pressing up. And then as you exhale, a little lean out to the left, opening the right side of the body. Inhale, reach up through center. Exhale, a little lean out to the right, opening the left side of the body, but make sure that you're not crunching down into the right side. So more aiming for the top corner of the room. Inhale, let's draw the hands back up to center. Now releasing the interlace of the fingers. As you exhale, circle the hands down behind you, interlace the fingers here. Press the heels of the hands together. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together and feel the top of the chest expand. If it feels natural, you can lift the gaze slightly. Take a deep breath in, and you might want to stay here, expanding the chest. Or if there's space as you exhale, fold forward, draw your hands up toward the ceiling, tuck chin and toward collarbones. Use the inhale, draw your hands back toward the back wall and down. If it feels natural, lifting the face. And then again, exhale. Keep the hands pulling back and up away from you as you lower, draw chin toward chest. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release the interlace of the fingers. Feel the shoulders relax and just give the upper body a moment to respond. We'll inhale, send crown of the head nice and high. Exhale, draw right ear to right shoulder. And then chin to chest. Inhale, left ear to left shoulder. Keep the shoulders, the arms nice and heavy. Exhale, chin to chest. And we'll just do one more either side. Creating space through the upper body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lift your head up through center. Look toward the top of your bolster or your cushion. We're going to place our hands down onto it. Lift the hips up, tuck the toes under, and then we're going to lift straight up into a forward fold. So you want to keep the knees a little soft. Land the heels on the mat. I'll come this way so we can see side on. Knees stay soft, belly rests on thighs. Armpits move toward knees, the head lengthens, the back of the neck lengthens downward. Ensure that the jaw is loose, so we're not clenching. There's some space between the top and bottom teeth. The tongue is from the top of the mouth. I want to give your head a little nod or a shake here, just finding those spaces where we have a tendency to hold even when we're not aware that we're holding. A few big breaths in, and notice where the breath travels to. We can't breathe quite so deeply into our bellies as the belly is compressed. But can you take the breath around to the lower back instead? The side ribs, the top of the chest. Exhale, chest, side ribs, lower back. Press through the feet, keep the knees soft, and slowly start to roll yourself up to standing. We're not going to be there for long. As you roll up, mindfully stacking each vertebra. And as you come to the top, draw your shoulders up into your ears. And draw the shoulder blades back and then down toward the kidneys. Okay, as you inhale, circle the arms up. Interlace the fingers, rotate the palms, press them up toward the ceiling. Then as you exhale, take a little lean out to the left. Your right side, keeping your left side long as well. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, lean out to the right. Inhale, come back up to center. Release the interlace the fingers. As you exhale, circle your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers here. Press the heels of the hands together. And if this is already feeling really tight, if you have something by you that you could grab, even if it's just a t-shirt or a tea towel, something in between your hands, just to give your shoulders a little bit of space, that's a really nice option. Otherwise, if the hands can comfortably interlace, going for that here. Inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other, lifting the chest, the face, if that feels natural. And then soften the knees as you exhale, rest your belly toward your thighs, fold down over your legs. Now, whether you're holding something or the fingers are interlaced, pull your hands up toward the ceiling as you inhale. And then as you exhale, fold a little deeper. If there's room, the hands start to move toward the front of your room. Head is heavy, neck is long. Give the head a little nod or a shake to make sure we're not holding unnecessary tension. And then you might want to stay here if this is already feeling really quite strong on the shoulders. Side to side. So inhale, draw hands upward. Then exhale, take the hands out to the left. Look up over your right shoulder. Inhale, hands back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, take them out to the right. Look over your left shoulder. We'll just do one more, either side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back up to center. As you exhale, draw your hands back toward your lower back. If you're holding on to something, release it. If the fingers are interlaced, release them. And we're going to run the hands down the backs of the legs. Give the shins a nice big hug. Draw chin to chest one more time. Let's inhale here. Maybe starting to feel the backs of the legs. Find more length. One more exhale. Now looking down in front, plant the hands underneath the shoulders. My bolster is still here. Totally fine if your pillow or whatever it is that you're using is on your mat. Spread the fingers wide, grip into the fingertips, and then start to walk back. And as you walk the feet back, you want to press down and forward with your hands so that the arms start to move towards straight. The chest starts to sink toward the thighs. And then allow the head to drop heavy. And if you have a bolster or something quite high, maybe your forehead rests toward it. If you have something a little lower, it's okay if it doesn't touch. Just use whatever it is beneath you as a guide to remember to let the back of the neck release. So we're not holding the head up, looking one way or another. We're relaxing it down. Now bringing focus to the lower body, lift and spread the sit bones. Imagine that you're holding a beach ball in between your upper thighs, squeeze into it, and then roll that beach ball toward the back of the room. So the inner thighs are rotating in toward each other.
With this movement, we don't want the knees to knock in, so keep the knees and the heels in line, the knees and the hips in line. Then on your next inhale, we're going to lift heels, lift hips as high as you can. As you exhale, drop both hips and heels out to the right. For length through your left side, make sure you press firmly into your left palm. Inhale, draw back up through center. Exhale, hips and heels out to the left. Keep pressing firmly into the right palm. We'll do one more, other side. Inhale up through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale up through center, hips and heels high. Look forward, roll forward. Shoulders come over your wrists and the knees come down. Find a tabletop. On your mat, we can take this opportunity to pull it out of the way. Placing hands carefully down on the mat, directly underneath your shoulders. You want the creases of your wrists to be parallel to the front edge of your mat. So we're all shaped a little differently, and that's a really nice guide to know what direction your hands need to be facing in. From here, grip into the fingertips, press down into the palms. Draw the arms towards straight without hyperextending. And then as you inhale, we're going to tilt the tailbone up toward the ceiling, stretch the belly out toward the mat, and the chest and the gaze forward. As you exhale, reverse this, tilt the tailbone down, hollow out the belly, draw chin in toward throat, the back of the neck goes long. A couple more rounds of our cat-cow. Inhale, stretching out the front body, breathing into it. Exhale, stretching out the back body. One more, deep breath in. And long breath out. Then inhale, coming back to a neutral spine. We're going to draw the knees together. Squeeze the inner thighs. As you exhale, start to take your hips back toward your heels. We're coming toward our full Virasana. So here, if you want to grab that pillow and pop it this time just underneath your bum, that's a really nice option. So the knees are staying as drawn together as possible. The pillow isn't in between the knees, and it's just the bum down. So we're able to squeeze the feet in a little closer toward the outer edges of the hips. The soles of the feet point up. There's more activity going on in the legs. If your knees feel a little crunchy in this shape, a scarf or a towel rolled up and placed right up in the crease between the thigh and the calf is a really nice way to give support and stability and space to the knee when we're starting to come into deeper flexion. And then if this is something that really isn't feeling great for the knees at all, taking a Baddha Konasana instead, soles of the feet together, knees wide, is just a nice option to find a different sort of opening for the knees and the hips. So using the options that feel best for you. We can stay seated up, or if you feel you have the space today, pillow comes out and we start to land the sit bones down. And then just check in with what's happening. This is a bit of a sticky one on the knees and the hips. Notice how you're feeling. Again, turn the palms to face up and see if you can find that length between the sit bones and the crown of the head. We'll just be here for 5 deep breaths. See if you can refine the 3 parts of your breath here. Belly, side ribs, chest, chest, side ribs, belly.
And once you've finished your 5th breath, if the eyes are closed, you might want to blink them open. Place your hands about in line with your knees, lean forward, lift the hips up. And then we're going to swing the right leg out and take it out to the right. Heel is in line with your left knee. Inhale, come on up, just checking that the hips are even by plugging the right hip down, sending the right toes forward, grounding through the outside edge of the right foot, and then start to reach the right arm up. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to keep the left side of the body as long as we can as we lean out to the right. Inhale, come back. And again, exhale, keep the left side of the body long, lean out to the right. One more, deep breath in. Long breath out. And this time, allow the left hand to come down to the mat. If you have a block, you want to get a little extra height, go for it. Otherwise, hand down underneath the shoulder, press out of that shoulder, reach the right arm up and over, starting to feel a full lengthening down the right side of the body. We're going to go for circles with the top arm. So inhale, reach it as high as you can. Then exhale, circle the hand down toward the mat. Keep it close to the body. Inhale, circle it up. Exhale to the left and down. One more big circle here. Inhale. Feeling the reach in different directions sort of make you use the weight of your body differently. So as you reach up, you feel lighter. As you reach down, you feel more grounded. I think I did one extra circle. Let's inhale, reach it back up. And we're going to use that lift and that lightness to draw out back. As we exhale, take it out to the side, right arm to right leg, left arm up and over. If this feels quite strong, you can modify by bending the elbow, taking the hand behind the head and drawing elbow to ceiling. Just for 3, wherever we are, gaze is wherever the neck is comfortable. For 2. For 1, inhale, reach your left arm up. It's your anchor upward. Let's take both hands up. Then as you exhale, hands come down to the mat, and we're going to draw the left foot in and come down, left heel toward the groin, legs as wide as they will allow. So you don't want to be working so wide that we're lopsided. Both sit bones want to be grounded evenly, and the right toes want to be pointing up toward the ceiling. So if that's not happening, bring your legs a little closer together, as wide as we can allow whilst keeping the stability and the structure of the shape. Okay, right hand is going to come down to the inside of the right leg. We're going to take the palm to face down so that we can press away from the mat, press out of the right shoulder, draw the left shoulder back, and then reach the left arm back and up, starting to create length through both sides of the body first, and then we stop that press away from the mat and instead start to sink it toward it as we reach the left arm up and over. Big lateral stretch here. 3 big breaths into your left side. And as you inhale, start to come back up. And as you exhale, bring your left hand back down to the mat. We're going to pull the legs even closer together. So now the left sole of the left foot is to the inside of the right thigh, and the legs are making more of a 90-degree angle. And we're going to twist. So we're going to start to draw ourselves to face the right leg, and then twist even a little bit further still with the torso, taking the left hand down to the outside of the right knee, the right hand down to the outside of the right hip. Inhale here. As you exhale, start to creep your hands away from each other. So we're drawing the left shoulder forward toward the right foot, the right shoulder back toward the back of the room, and we're going to add in a curve through the spine here. So rather than keeping the spine long, draw chin to chest,
Look to the mat just outside of your right knee. Make sure it's not too far away, so you're not going to start to lean out to one side. So just to the outside of the knee. Keep creeping the hands away from each other and aim the forehead just to the outside of that right knee. And we find a really nice stretch quite close to the spine, but down along the left side, right up underneath the shoulder blade and right down into the lower back. Let's take a few breaths into that space. Again, instead of taking the breath into the front body, which is compressed, can you travel the breath around toward the lower back now? And then starting to walk the hands back in toward each other. And as you do, unroll the spine so you start to sit tall. Turn to face forward. And then bend the right knee and cross the right leg in front of the left, coming to our Sukhasana. So we've got right leg in front, left leg behind in our cross leg position. We're going to start to work into our double pigeon. And this is a big one. And we're a little more warm on one side than the other. So take your time with this. We don't need to get to the fullest expression of the pose. We're just starting to explore how we can use our hips. So grounding even sit. If you want to prop yourself up on something, go for it. Maybe your pillow, your bolster. Start to creep the feet toward the knees. So we're aiming to make a square shape with the legs. As you do this, as you reach for this square shape of the legs, notice if you're starting to pull back through the legs. And if that's the case, sitting yourself up on a prop is a really nice option, just to give us more space to tilt the top of the pelvis forward, keep the lower back long. So keeping the length of the spine. You can stay here, feet and knees roughly in line, feet flex. And I'm already feeling this quite strongly through my glutes. Depends how much Pilates you've been doing. All right, so staying here can be a really nice option, focusing on that square shape, lifting up through the crown of the head, keeping the spine long. Or if there's space for you today, we can pick the right foot up and place it on top of the left knee. Keep the feet flexed, and you'll notice I've got quite a bit of space between my right knee and my left foot. If you want to bring something in to support that space, go for it. Just make sure that you're not pressing down on that knee. Instead, just use the weight of the leg and gravity to slowly bring the knee down. It doesn't need to happen all the way. It doesn't need to happen all at once. Keep grounding through both sit bones. Keep lengthening up through the crown of the head. And then breathe. Breathe into wherever you feel this the most. If you're starting to feel that like, holy moly, this is strong feeling, there's a tendency when we go there that the breath constricts, that everything constricts. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this so much. There's no breath in the body. So if you're there, ease back a little with the shape and focus on breathing deeply right into the point of sensation. And we'll go for 3 more breaths here. And if you're super open through the hips today and you want to start to fold forward with a long spine, please feel free to do so. I'm good here. And always listening to your body and make sure you're taking the shapes that honor how you're feeling right now. So again, if you're folded forward, you might want to stay. If you're sitting tall through center, you might want to stay. I'm going to add in another lateral stretch because they're quite enjoyable. Left hand to the left if you're coming with me. Right arm up. Let's all bend the elbow this time. Take the palm behind the head. Creep the left arm to the left or the right elbow toward the ceiling. And then notice what's happening through the right hip. If it's starting to lift, really anchor that hip down. So we're drawing the hip down, the elbow up, and finding that full lengthening out of the right side body. If it's comfortable to come down onto the left elbow, feel free to do so. If that's not quite working today, stay on the palm. For 3, 2, one, and then let's inhale, reach the right arm up. Use that as our anchor to help ourselves back up through center. Exhale, both hands come by our sides. We are going to foot back in front of the left knee, and swing it around and come up into a kneeling position. So however you get here, knees underneath hips. Inhale, let's reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers, turn the palms to face toward the ceiling. Belly button to lower back. As you exhale, lean out to the left, press down through the right knee. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, lean out to the right, press down through the left knee. Inhale, come up through center, release the interlace of the fingers. Exhale, circle the hands around behind you. And then we're going to take the hands to the lower back, fingers face down, elbows start to draw toward each other. Press the hips forward. Lift the chest up, roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows in toward each other. So a nice gentle ustrasana, a stretch out, an opening of the front body. And just like we do in our lateral stretches where we're leaning to one side, we don't want to dump into the side, the underneath side. So here we don't want to dump into the back area. Instead, we want to lift up out of it and arch over. A couple more breaths. Squeezing the elbows, drawing the shoulders back. Maybe the gaze is up, the hips are forward. And then inhale, draw yourself back up through center. Keep the feet as wide as they are. Draw the knees together. Exhale, sit back, hips in between heels. You have the option to be on your bolster. You have the option to come down, or again, taking the Baddha Konasana variation instead, working for the knees today. So I'm going to give you the option to recline back with this variation. Take this step by step. It's really one that we don't want to be rushing into or rushing out of. It's quite strong and can feel strong for different reasons on different days in different parts of the body. So I'm going to turn side on so you can see me. So again, you might be sitting up on something, and if you are sitting up on something, we're not going to recline all the way down unless you have, no, we're just not going to do it. If you're sitting down straight on the mat, you have the option to. If you have a bolster that you are not sitting on and it's behind you, feel free to bring that in and lie down on the bolster. Otherwise, we're going to come down to the mat. So either sitting tall, or if you feel that there's space today, start to lean back, draw the elbows down toward the mat. And then notice what happens, readjusting, my hips are still even, my soles of the feet are turning up. This might be more than enough. Here, I'm wanting to press out of my elbows, out of my shoulders, lift through the heart space. You can keep chin to chest, or if it's comfortable, you can start to lean the head back. Only if that feels good. So maybe staying there. Otherwise, if you feel there's a little bit more space, starting to lower yourself down into the back of the head. You can draw the upper back down a little bit more. I've actually got a mic pack to my prop. So this is my head. So if you're focusing on that, drawing down toward the kidneys, you might want to stay here. Otherwise, the final option is to reach the arms up overhead and grab for opposite elbows. So taking the options that feel best for you. And if you are way down, try and allow the points of the body to get even heavier. Notice what you are holding here. And this is a big one, so very likely there's parts of the body that are tightening to protect. See if you can start to put into relax, and if you feel comfortable in the shape, there's nothing we really need to protect from. So starting to take the breath deeper, and
wherever you. We'll go for 3 more breaths. If you are all the way down with the arms overhead, bring the arms back down beside the body, take them towards feet. Hook goes into the mat, down the elbows to lift up. And your head is relaxed back, draw chin to chest. Take hands to feet, press into them, and come on up. Now we're going to take the hands forward to about where the knees are. Lean forward, press into the knees, lift up, and I'm going to turn around to face you again. We'll take the left leg out to the left. Ground the outside edge of the foot down. Roll the toes to point forward. Inhale, come on up. Right hand to right hip. Let's take left arm to the ceiling. Hips are square. Then as you exhale, lean out to the left. Lean out to the right. The left side is lengthening, but we don't want to be crunching into the right side. So reaching toward the top corner rather than sinking down. Inhale, come back up through center. Keep the length. Exhale, lean out to the right. Ground through your left foot for stability. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, lean out to the right, and this time we let the right hand come down. So underneath the shoulder, you might want to block or just a little bit of height with anything, a big thick book. Could work really well here. Just to give us some more space, we press out of that right shoulder, lengthen the left arm up and over. Find space for the left side, find space for the right side, and we're going to take those circles. So reach a little further with the left fingertips as you inhale. As you exhale, circle the hand forward and down. Making the circles as big as you can, noticing the direction of your reach and how it moves the body. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Let's take that reach up. So we use our left hand as an anchor to the ceiling. Inhale, come up through center. We'll take it straight to the other side, left arm to the left leg, right arm up and over. And if this is feeling quite strong with the arm extended, hand can come behind the head and we draw the elbow up. So drawing the right knee down, the elbow up, or the arm over to create that length through the right side for 3. Gaze can be down or up, depending on how the neck feels. For 2. For 1, right arm comes back up. Here's your anchor. Let's use it to lift. And then as you exhale, hands come down in front of you. Swing your right foot in and we come to take a seat. Again, take the legs as wide as we can while grounded and the left toes pointing up toward the ceiling. Right heel toward the right groin. No, right heel toward the groin. Bow sit into down. If you need to bring your legs a little closer, make sure you do so. And then left palm is going to face down. And we're going to press out of the mat away from you and start to find as much space between the left hand and the right shoulder as you can. Reach your right arm back and then up. And now we release the press away of that palm and we start to sink toward the left as we draw the right arm up and over. Pressing left elbow or left hand into the left leg so you can rotate the torso. Imagine belly button drawing up toward the ceiling. Again, if this is quite strong with the arm extended, hand behind head is a really good option. Creating space between the right hip and the right elbow. For 3. For 2. Breathing into the parts of the body where the strongest sensation is. For 1. And then reaching the right hand up to your anchor, coming on up. Oh, drawing the legs a little bit closer toward each other so that we start to make more of a 90-degree angle. Legs on a 90-degree angle, we're now going to pick the torso up and shift to face toward our left leg. And then even a little bit further still, keeping both hips grounded. Right hand is going to come down to the outside of the knee, left hand is going to come to the outside of the hip. Using the hand on the mat to give yourself a bit more twist. And then start to spider walk the hands away from each other. Drawing chin down toward chest so the back of the neck goes long. Looking just to the outside of the left knee, so you don't want to go too far. Just to the outside as you start to walk the hands even further. Chin to chest, allow the spine to curl a little here. Get that nice big stretch down the right side of the spine. Notice if you feel this more down into your lower back or up underneath the shoulder blade. This is a shape that really changes for me practice to practice, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on what I've been doing with my body. Take a couple more big breaths here, breathing into that space of sensation. And then starting to walk your hands back in toward each other. Unraveling the spine, coming back up. Turning to face the torso in between the legs. And we are going to bend the left knee, coming back to our cross-leg position. And then start to walk, so the left foot is in front, the left leg is in front. And maybe this is the shape that you're used to, or maybe you're used to sitting the other way. Usually one feels a lot more weird than the other. Start to walk your feet, that square shape. Just through the hips as you do this, as you tighten, make sure the sit bones are still grounded. We're not curling through the lower back. And if that yourself up, get a little more space, a little more length. Once you've found that square, it will look different for each of us. We've all got different proportions going on, different tightness of the hips. So just take this to a spot where you can feel the stretch out on the glutes. Yeah, we don't want to be pushing any further than that because that's not achieving anything. So we can stay here if this is where we're feeling a lot. Or if you have the space, it's the left foot that goes onto the right knee this time. So maybe picking it up, placing it on. Really important to keep the feet flexed. I'm a little bit more open through this side. You might notice my knee isn't quite as high as it was on the other side. So noticing if you have any differences side to side in your body. These are really great to become aware of. They're nothing that we need to judge or worry about in particular, but just noticing how you use your body. And then again, you might want to be sitting nice and tall. Or if you have the space today, you can start to fold forward. Otherwise, just closing down the eyes and taking a couple of breaths, finding length. Breathing into where you're feeling the most. And if you have taken it forward, notice if you've started to tense the face, let the face relax, even if that means you have to come up a little bit higher. Not pulling, just breathing into the space. Okay. If you're folded forward, you might want to stay there. You might want to stay here, or I'm going to come into one final lateral stretch by taking my right hand down by my right side, taking my left hand behind my head, and then drawing left elbow toward the ceiling. So creating as much space between my left elbow and my left hip as I can. Keep drawing the left hip down. If you're coming with me, maybe the right elbow finds the mat. It does not need to. Breathe into the space through the left side of your body that you're creating. For 3, 2, 1, and then as you inhale, start to lift back up. And as you exhale, release the left hand down by your left side. From here, we are going to take that left foot off the right knee if it's there, bring it around, and lift back up position. I'm going to come to face you side again. We'll go for one final Ustrasana before we take ourselves down onto our mats. If you're feeling like you've done enough front body open, sitting next to the heels, taking a moment is a really nice option. Otherwise, knees directly underneath hips. Hands around towards your lower back, turn the fingers to face down. I will give you the option to reach back for your heels with this one. It is not something we need to take, okay? Hips are pressing forward. Hips are always in line with the knees, or even a little bit in front. Lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows toward each other. If the head is happy moving back, you might want to take it there, but make sure it doesn't strain the neck. And then if you're feeling quite comfortable here, maybe reaching one hand at a time towards your heels, and if they are accessible today, you can take a hold of the heels, draw the hips further forward, lift the chest toward the ceiling, really squeeze the shoulder blades in, making sure that wherever you are, you can breathe. For 3, 2, 1. If your hands are to your heels, carefully bringing them back up toward your lower back. And we'll lift ourselves up through center, finding full length of the spine. And as you exhale, take your hands down to the mat in front of you, and we're just going to take a moment in our table to let the spine find neutral after that back bend. And after a few breaths, if you want to shift a little, go for it. If you want to start to come into a cat shape, go for it. When the spine feels like it has neutralized, we're going to swing both legs out to one side and sit ourselves back onto the mat. So hips down, legs are going to come in front. I'm going to bring my bolster in underneath my knees. If you have your pillow, you can bring it in. If you prefer to work more into the hamstrings, you might want to go take the legs long. But we don't want the length of the legs to compromise the length of the spine. So we're coming into our Paschimottanasana. We're going to take our time to get into it because we did just take a back bend. We don't want to go straight from extension into flexion too quickly. So sitting tall first, grounding down through the sit bones, lengthening up through the crown of the head, relaxing the shoulders back and down. And you know what? This might be enough. This length, this awareness of length through the spine that we have cultivated through this practice today. Perhaps staying here, sitting with it, focusing on it, a meditation on your spine. Otherwise, if you feel it is accessible to keep the idea of that length as you start to hinge at the hips and fold forward, relaxing belly toward or even in between thighs, travel the arms down the legs. Chest toward or even in between knees. Feeling the support of any props beneath you, then allow the head to drop heavy. So draw chin in toward chest, the back of the neck lengthens out.
The crown of the head is heavy. Let's go for a few really nice big breaths into wherever you're feeling this the most. Big breaths into the places of the body that have space. And then really slowly, carefully, starting to lift yourselves back up. And again, refinding that length. Noticing how your body feels. You might want to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to keep the bolster underneath my knees. If you don't want to use it for your Shavasana, you can get whatever you're using out of the way. Bend the knees so the soles of the feet come down. Reach the hands forward. And then carefully start to lower yourself down, vertebra by vertebra. We're just going to finish with a nice, easy, gentle twist. Drawing the knees close to the hips. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you might want to take your feet up onto it. Arms go nice and wide. And then as you exhale, simply let the knees fall to the left. The legs stay heavy. If you want to add in a little neck twist, take your gaze to the right. And take a few breaths here. And if you feel like you need a little more, you can draw your right knee across your left leg. And otherwise, just keeping it nice and simple. And then drawing the legs back up to center, face back up to center, and moving out to the other side. And again, using the option that you took on the other side. So if you want to draw your left knee over, find more of a twist, go for it. Otherwise, maybe taking the gaze toward the left or the face toward the left, eyes closed. Full body is heavy, whatever option that you've taken. We're not pushing or pulling anymore. We're just letting the body relax. Letting gravity help us into this state of surrender. Coming back up to center. Extending your legs long when you feel ready. If you have that bolster, maybe taking the backs of the knees on top of it. Otherwise, legs long on the mat. Feet at least hip distance apart, maybe even wider. Relax the legs so the toes start to point outward or externally rotate. And arms come down by the body. You don't need to take them too close in. They don't need to be stuck to your side, but we don't want to be too wide with them either. And then pick the shoulders up and draw the shoulders right down toward the buttocks. And this movement, as we relax back toward the mat, encourages an outward turning of the arms so the palms are facing up. Now let this space in the body, this upper body, relax. Fingers relax so that they roll loosely back in toward your palms. Back of the head is heavy. If it feels a little wonky, you might want to pick it up and just draw your chin toward your chest a little more. Back of the neck is long. Bring your awareness around to the front side of your body and make sure it's relaxed. Kind of the hips, belly, chest, shoulders.
face. This is the jaw, cheeks, the tongue, the eyes. And you're squeezing your eyes shut. If so, can you soften the eyelids, the eyebrows, and the space between the eyebrows, right up through to the top of the head. And as we relax completely here, even though the breath is subtle, we start to recognize ourselves breathing with our entire bodies, our entire beings. And if you find your mind starts to wander when you settle the body into stillness, keeping a focus on the breath is a really good option here. Watching it enter the body, following its journey, watching it leave the body. Maybe it has a certain color. Maybe the color changes as the breath moves through. Really letting yourself settle into these moments of peace. There's nothing else you have to do other than be here. Participating fully in the moment that you're in. If you have the time and the space in your day to stay here longer and you feel that's what you need this morning, please allow yourself to have that time. Otherwise, if you're ready to move onward into your day, take your time to deepen the breath. Start to bring movement back to the body. It starts subtle and small and then grows. And then when you're ready, a careful movement out to one side. Before lifting yourself on up into a seated position. Whatever seat feels the most comfortable, the most natural for you now. Feeling the length of the spine, the space that you have created in your body. Let's bring hands together at the heart. And if you did set an intention, you might want to revisit what that was. Otherwise, just acknowledging the presence that you took through your practice, the way that you participated in your body rather than just being up in your head. Maybe this is something that we can take forward with us into our day, into our week, into our life. Thank you for joining me this morning. Namaste.